Yadav was a member of the Assault Commando Platoon of 18 Grenadiers, which captured three strategic bunkers on Tiger Hill, overlooking the Dras Kargil Road on the night of 3rd to 4th July 1999. He survived 15 bullets while capturing Tiger Hill in the Kargil War and was awarded the Paramveer Chakra, India's highest award of gallantry. The Paramveer Chakra citation said, Yadav, unmindful of the danger involved, volunteered to lead and fix the rope for his team to climb up. On seeing the team, the enemy opened intense automatic grenade, rocket, and artillery fire, killing the commander and two of his colleagues, and the platoon was stalled. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Grenadier Yogender Singh Yadav crawled up to the enemy position to silence it and in the process sustained multiple bullet injuries. Unmindful of his injuries and in the hail of enemy bullets, Grenadier Yogender Singh Yadav continued climbing towards the enemy's position, lobbed grenades, continued firing from his weapons and killed four enemy soldiers in close combat and silenced the automatic fire. In an interview with Cloud RP, the brave soldier relieves that night when he and his fellow commandos won one of the most historic military victories. Cloud RP asks the question as, on 3rd July 1999, you and your team were given the task of capturing Tiger Hill. What do you remember of these difficult days? What were the feelings then? How do you recall the events today? Then the Yogender Singh Yadav replied that even though many years have been passed, I still feel that the Kargil war happened just yesterday. I'll never be able to forget through my whole life the memories of the Kargil. During the war, I do not know how many comrades I lost. Comrades who were even dearer than my own brothers. Inside me lives their memories and it will be thus continue to be. I do not know how many hundreds of comrades were injured. Today some among them cannot even walk or move. I remember on the night of 3rd to 4th July, my battalion were injured and was ordered to capture Tiger Hill top. Tiger Hill was the highest peak in Dras sector. To take control of it was very difficult. At a height of 16,500 feet with sheer precipitous sides of ice and snow. Before that, we had won mastery over many hills, particularly Tololing, but our success could turn into failure if we dominating of future of the Tiger Hill was not won. All the victories could be nullified. The senior comrades concluded that only Tiger Hill is captured that would other gains bring a complete success. Our battalion was then ordered to capture the top of the Tiger Hill. Attack plans were made and the assault platoon was formed with Lieutenant Balwant Singh as the commander. This platoon under the battalion was to attack the top of Tiger Hill first. The path that we decided to take was such that Pakistani forces could not envisage that the Indian army could be using the path to reach the top. The path to the Pakistani positions has sheer vertical peaks. We made plans on how to accomplish our task and finally on 2nd June we set out to accomplish our goal. The whole battalion moved together. The attack could only happen at the night as the enemy from their heights could observe us from afar. If we attacked during the day, they would have shot down our Jawans. Hence, we would only attack in the dead of night, that too when the moon was hidden. After an arduous climb for 2 days, during the night of July 3rd to 4th, we went through a tremendously difficult path, a very small path. But hearing the stones sliding under our feet, the enemy surmised that the Indian army has reached this area. They opened the fire on us. When the firing started, there were only 7 Jawans who were ahead. The others were slowly reaching up from below in a line. A bit of path was blocking, and only those 7 Jawans had been able to reach the highter spot. We all reached up to 8 to 10 feet level with the Pakistani bunkers. 4 to 5 soldiers opened fire at us. All 7 of us went on firing and sent Pakistani soldiers into the valley of the death. We obtained victory on that ledge, but the top of Tiger Hill was still 30 to 35 meters higher. From there, enemy could see where the Indian soldiers had reached. They were firing at us so heavily that neither we were able to move higher nor we could come out of the behind the rocks. For 5 hours, the exchange of fire continued, but they were unable to estimate how many Jawans were present below them. At about 10:30 a.m., the Pakistanis sent some 10 soldiers to check. When the enemy came close to us, we fired at them and killed them all excepting 1 or 2. But by then, our positions had been marked by the Pakistanis, and they knew how many we were. They returned to top to report to their commanders that there were only 8 to 10 Indian soldiers below. Within 30 minutes of getting information, the Pakistani troops launched a counter-attack on us. Such a powerful attack, using several supporting weapons, throwing big boulders down on us. As they slowly came closer and closer, they managed to damage our LMG, light machine gun, our supporting weapon. Then they got closer and launched a hand-to-hand battle, during which 6 of my companions were martyred. I still remember that moment, those preceding instants when we 7 mates were discussing and talking about how and about to do next and what was going to happen. And the instant later, when all my comrades had been martyred. I was bereft by this loss, but also glad that before losing their lives, they had killed 10 to 12 enemy soldiers. I too was severely wounded and was taken for dead by the enemy. 2 or 3 times they returned to shot some bullets into all the dead bodies and checked that no one was alive. The enemy also shot bullets into my body. I was shot in the arm and leg, but had firmly resolved that unless I got a bullet in my heart or head, I would remain alive, even if they cut off my arms and legs. It is due to that resolve and will that I am alive today. Some 500 meters below was our MMG, medium machine gun post. The enemy then made plans to destroy it. Next to Tiger Hill was the Mushko Valley, where their base camp was located. It is from there that the orders to destroy the MMG post came. I heard this order. I knew that some 10 to 12 of my fellow mates were manning the MMG post. In my heart, a voice spoke to me and said that I must save my companions. When the Pakistani soldiers again shot at us and tried taking our weapon, I attacked them with a grenade. One of their soldiers were killed. Another turned his muzzle at me and fired at my chest. In my breast pocket was my So now, what do you think what happened next? Did Yadav die? Actually not. So what happened next is that Upender turned his muzzle at me and fired at my chest. In my breast pocket was my purse, which contained some 5 rupee coins. The bullet hit the coins and ricocheted away. I felt that I had died. But the next instant, when he bent to take my weapon, my eyes opened and I realized that I was still alive. Within a moment, I turned and grabbing a rifle, opened fire on them. During the firing, 4 Pakistani soldiers were killed. I fired from one boulder, then rolled, being another to fire again and then the third. They thought that some Indian reinforcements had reached from below and then ran away, and I returned to my companions to check if any of them were alive, but to my deep sorrow no one was. I tried to see how to descend when Devi Shakti appeared before me and told me how to go down. My broken arm was useless at my side. I tried to tie it. I even tried to break it off with a jerk, but I could not manage. Finally, I fixed it into my belt behind my back and rolled downhill towards my companions. I gave my mates the warning about the impending attack and told my team commander, Lieutenant Balwant Sahib, the entire story, and he in return reported it to our battalion commander. Battalion commanding officer Colonel Kushal Chand Thakur told them to get me down to him as quickly as possible so that he could hear the information firsthand. At that time, it must have been 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon of 4th July. Blood was flowing from my wounds like water. Though my comrades have gave me first aid, the bleeding would not stop. They brought me back to CO, and by the time we reached, it was completely dark and I was unable to see. The CO asked, "Son, do you recognize me?" But I could see nothing. He had me laid in his personal tent and had 2 or 3 stoves lit around me. When my body gradually got warmer, the RMO, Regiment Medical Officer Sahib, came and gave me some first aid and made me drink some glucose. I got sort of energy back in my body, and then the CO asked, "Tell me now, son, what happened to you?" I told him the whole story and concluded that, "Now, sir, they are going to attack the MMG post. Sir, you see, beyond this helipad there are stones, behind which are the living tents of enemy. They have supporting weapons deployed there, and ammunition have been dumped there." After I gave this information, RMO Sahib gave me an injection to put me to sleep. When I woke up 3 days later, I was at Srinagar Base Hospital. I learned that the same night our reserve company had attacked the top of Tiger Hill and without any casualties had succeeded in capturing the top. I was then shifted to Army Hospital in New Delhi, and after 16 months of treatment, I could serve the army again now. It is the dream of every soldier to fight for his country and with his own blood to anoint this motherland. To be able to do this is such a great fortune. I considered myself fortunate and have taken birth on Mother India's soil, and to be part of this great Indian army, which is today considered as one of the best in the world. I am proud of my country and of our army, and I would tell the youth of this country that we can be devoted to our nation from anywhere, but the real progress is the inner and outer protection, which only comes when we all come together. When we try to progress in every realm and each one tries to grow in our own sphere, I would appeal to our youth that no matter in which area you choose, you should work hard with honesty, straightforwardness, and you should keep your devotion to your country awake, alive. Jai Hind. Now, Cloud RP again asked, "You said that Devi Ma Shakti came to you. You had earlier already had a vision telling you that you would be injured but would not die. Can you elaborate on it, please?" So, now Yogender Singh Yadav continued. When, with full faith, a man surrenders everything he has to accomplish a certain task, and this without reserve, ulterior motive, or calculation, certainly then an inner strength Shakti arises in him. He becomes conscious of what is going to happen to him today or tomorrow or whenever. This happened to me. I was given the awareness that I would be injured. My arms and legs would become useless, but that I would remain alive. It is a fact that in Kargil we had surrendered ourselves fully to our task. We were fully aware that we could lose our lives, but we still surrendered ourselves to the task and ahead with complete faith in the Lord. Then there is no question of thinking that one would fail in one's work. The task has to be completed. The Lord Himself tests man. He tests how much a person can take, how much pain he can bear. Only when one can bear the most intolerable pain does the divine strength come to accomplish the task. Now, Cloud again asked, "You had a certitude that you would not die. Tell us more about the vision of Devi Ma Shakti who showed you the way down to the MMG post." At that time, I knew that I had to reach my comrades. It was a selfless wish to try to save the lives of my mates, my brothers. I had no desire to try to save my own life. In fact, having witnessed my 6 companions sacrifice their life, and I was proud that I was now being given another opportunity to serve my motherland and follow in their footsteps. This is the dream of every soldier, his glorious journey to fulfill the prime duty of his life. When he returns home, wrapped in the national tricolor, his family, his country, and even the whole world rejoice with tears at his self-sacrifice. I was given the strength and she showed me the way to go down. So now Cloud again asked, "Have you seen Lok Kargil, the Hindi film made about your action?" Now Yogender Singh Yadav replied that they did not interviewed me for that, but in the film Manoj Bajpayee has played my part. Now the Cloud again asked, "Did you see the film? How did you find it?" Now the Yogender Singh Yadav continued as, "Yes, I liked it. They have highlighted the task that my companions and I performed, our sacrifice for the good. The world could see this. It made the general public aware of the difficulties a soldier has to endure to do his duty successfully. I liked it very much." Now the Cloud again asks, "So many years later, would you do it again?" Now the Yogender Singh Yadav replied as, "Yes, many citizens want to join the army. Not all are selected, but those who feel they are blessed that out of so many aspirants, there are chosen few who will serve to protect their country. A soldier's ultimate wish is that he should be followed to do this job for protecting his country, and even if he has to lay down his life to do it, that is not too big a sacrifice. I have merely shed some of my blood for my motherland, only put a tilak with my blood on her land, but I am still alive. But if I were given the chance, I would put down this life for her." Now the Cloud again asked, "Since that time, there have been lot of changes in the army." Now the Yogender Singh Yadav replied as, "Yes, the army is the army." Now at that time, there were many shortages in the army, lack of equipment, ammunition, adequate clothing, etc. Has the situation improved? Now the Yogender Singh Yadav replied as, "At that time, in 1999, the war was declared all of a sudden. In those areas, Kargil, Dras sectors, there were little army deployment. The units had to be called in from other parts of India, from the plains, and they did not have the right clothing. But the main need of the hour during the war was neither adequate clothing nor a right equipment available, but to accomplish the task at hand, and this with whatever means we had. It is a matter of pride that the Indian Army Jawan has a dedication, patriotism not present in any other army of the world. It is because of this that we were able to vanquish the enemy at those impenetrable mountain heights. Now, the last question the Cloud RP asked to Yogender Singh Yadav is that it is said that a soldier believes that every bullet carries someone's name on it. Do you believe that too? Now the Yogender Singh Yadav replied as, of course, see, I am a soldier, and so is the man fighting against me. We were not bothered by which bullet carries whose name. Definitely each bullet carries a name, just as we say that every morsel of food bears the name of the person who must eat it. Similarly, for a soldier, he has a bullet with his name on it, the one which will kill him. Perhaps the bullet with my name was not made, and as a result, I was still alive. I hope you liked my presentation. Done by Sahasra, given by Samuel sir. Thank you.